The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's out, it's here, it exists, and we're finally all playing it. Literally all of us, as far as I can tell. I've lost count of the amount of times I've had a pop-up notification to tell me that another one of my friends is playing Zelda, while I myself am also playing Zelda, and I usually never get notifications like that when I'm playing on my Switch. And it's not just on my Switch that I'm seeing this. Everywhere I look on social media, I see dozens of tweets about Zelda. Posts about how astounding it is the game is this good. Delightful memes. Total disasters. Pinpoint insights. Fashion. Fan art. Lots of fan art. Thirsty posts. Oh, that one was mine. And just a whole lot of posts about the ridiculously cool contraptions y'all are making. Leave it to an American to take an unprecedentedly deep physics crafting system and use it to create a drone strike. Also, wow, y'all just really don't like Koroks. Like at all. Okay. Jesus. Oh, that's nice. Wait, is that a Korok rotisserie? Yes. The Ultra Hand ability, which is the ability used to craft the contraptions you've seen spread across social media like wildfire the past few weeks, is incredible. Especially when coupled with a physics engine so well made, it borders on dark sorcery. Like that one tweet said, "How the fuck did you make this, Nintendo?" But I'm not here to talk about Tears of the Kingdom's crafting. It's outstanding, no question. And I myself have built plenty of vehicles of dubious quality to navigate the world or circumnavigate challenges to varying degrees of success. I'm bad at it, so I tend to do the bare minimum and live vicariously through the truly talented creators I see on Twitter, mostly creating Korok torture devices. But still, I'm here to talk about a much smaller mechanic in Tears of the Kingdom, but one that has revolutionized the way I approach the game and turned me into one of those people that will spend multi-hour sessions in the game picking a direction, wandering off and seeing what I can find along the way. And I have to stress, I'm not that person. I tend to get bored of most open worlds fairly quickly. I wander for a bit until the tedium descends, and then I just stick to the main quest path and or a few interesting side quests, or I just wander off and play something else. But not in Tears of the Kingdom, and that's thanks to the Hero's Path mode. And before you say anything, I know Hero's Path was in Breath of the Wild, but I only played that game for like 10 hours, and it was in the DLC, which I definitely didn't buy and play anyway, so just let me do my thing here, okay? When I first heard about Hero's Path mode in-game, I didn't really think much of it. Oh, it's a line that charts your path through the game. Okay, whatever. Can I just have the sensor that tells me if I'm near a shrine, please? That sounds way more useful. Thanks. But then I got it. I'd fulfilled the requirements for it, so I thought, hell, why not? I might as well in case I decide I want to platinum the game or whatever. And then I remembered Switch doesn't even have trophies. When I was at a stable, I thought it would be kinda neat to just turn the Hero's Path on. You know, just to have a look. And then I saw the frankly chaotic line appear on the map, and I pretty much instantly saw the benefit. Because, according to this huge line, there was a path I hadn't explored leading away from the stable I was standing at. A small unexplored section of the game waiting for me to grab my horse and see what was out there. So that's what I did. Hoping to find a shrine I hadn't seen, or maybe a cave, or maybe that one guy who was everywhere holding up signs for President Hudson. And what ended up happening was, well, here, let me show you. After picking a direction, I hopped on my horse and just rode off down the path. Pretty quickly, I needed to choose between left or right, and I decided on right because I already had that part of the map uncovered. After having a bit of a fight with some roadside bokoblins, I investigated a small secluded valley from on high and spotted a cave entrance. After scrapping with some more bokoblins, I realized this cave went way deeper than I thought. Like, way deeper. It turns out there was a second exit on the other side, which led to an island occupied by some more bokoblins. So I crossed the water the only way I know how. By building a balloon and gliding over it. After tussling with yet more bokoblins and getting some delicious apples, I set out for some nearby ruins, found some more bokoblins. Then I ran up a hill to help my buddy Addison put a sign up using my amazing structural engineering expertise, and then I found a shrine, which I solved using ball physics. After the shrine, I did think for a minute about jumping in a chasm I found, but I decided against it because it was 1 a.m. and I wanted a peaceful night's sleep, and those chasms are like really scary. So I turned around, fought my way across some platforms on a pond that were occupied by these lizardy guys and soldier constructs. After they were all dead, I found a bridge that led me to a glowing bunny that led me to the Bone Pond East Cave. Inside Bone Pond Cave, I popped in on a bunch of new friends, and we vibed and had a fun party. Then I found a secret shrine and decided to climb the rest of the hill. Near the top, I looked back and saw this weird thing. But I've been playing forever now, I swear I have to just drop a pin on it and check it out later, because it was pretty late and I was getting sleepy, and I realized I'd been playing for like an hour. Instead, I ran up the rest of the hill, briefly stopping to jam a spear up a lizard boy's arse. From the top of the hill, I spotted a nearby stable and decided that would be a good place to call it a night. So I glided over Bone Pond, helped my gal pal Benny out of a jam, and she gave me a cheesecake in return. You've always been my favourite, Benny. I love you so much. I continued on from this, made a new friend along the way, got back to the stable, I swear this dialogue makes sense in context, and boarded my horse, who at this point was in an entirely different map zone to me, and then I bedded down for a restful night's sleep at the Foothill stable. This sense of exploration and adventure is, to me, what makes Tears of the Kingdom a game I'm loving every moment of. That and the fact that they made weapon degradation less painful thanks to Fuse and lessened the impact of rain on climbing by letting me build hot air balloons, the last game that gave me the same sense of wonder and exploration was Elden Ring. Similarly to Tears of the Kingdom, Elden Ring didn't ruin the sense of discovery by plonking a bunch of icons on a map, instead giving me a world filled with wonder, possibility, and things that were just worth seeing and doing, like the weird Midsommar village with the dancing ladies who mostly don't attack you and, as far as I could tell, don't exist for any other purpose than to just sit off in the corner of the map and be really cool, really weird, and really unsettling thing you can find if you want to. But Elden Ring did perhaps give me too little direction. As I mentioned earlier, I am cartographically challenged, and there was tons of stuff I missed in Elden Ring. Nukes, crannies, entire regions, because I just didn't know I hadn't been there. I've seen a few videos of people playing Elden Ring or watched some streams of my friends doing it, and they go to places I never even knew existed, and I thought, oh, that would have been cool to see if I'd known it was there. On the flip side, many other open world games drop you in a big world, but also highlight all of the points of interest, like Horizon Forbidden West, for example, whose map is on the screen right now. This is fine, it ensures I don't miss anything important that I might quite like to see, but also robs me of the magic of exploration and adventure. I'm not knocking icons on a map as a whole, they're fine, but when you give me a map and mark out all of the points of interest, it feels like I'm being robbed of most of my agency. Like if you were playing D&D, but your DM just told you where to go after every encounter, and what you were going to face when you got there. Like I'm sure I'd still have a fun time when I got there, but a lot of the fun is in the journey as well as the destination, and the dumbassery Keith lets us get up to along the way. Like the time our plan hinged on me seducing a hag. It turns out, in that situation, the worst case scenario wasn't failure. But I've said too much. Tears of the Kingdom for me strikes a pretty perfect balance between these two philosophies. It drops quest markers for you to follow for main and side quests if you have them tracked and you can only track one at a time. It allows you to place custom pins on the map for future exploration, like I did when I found that weird hole in the ground. The fact that you can do this using the telescope is pretty genius as well, because you can pin anything you can see with pinpoint accuracy. And most importantly, the game features a world packed with worthwhile things to see and do. And blow up. There is another important balance Tears of the Kingdom strikes that I don't tend to find in a lot of other open world games. Breathing room. One thing that tends to tire me out when I'm trying to explore the world of, say for example, Yakuza or Far Cry, is the amount that you're hassled in those games. You'll be trying to get from point A to point B, and find yourself besieged constantly from wandering thugs or bears or enemy NPCs in general, and you'll just want everything to get out of the fucking way so you can have a look around. Hyrule, by contrast, gives you plenty of space to wander through its beauty quietly. Listen to the wind and the birds, stop and appreciate the view, or just ride your trusty steed through a forest and see what's out there. Inevitably, you'll end up spotting something that takes your interest, and then you'll be right back in the thick of it. The example I used above started with a gentle ride along a path and only turned to an action-packed adventure when I decided to detour into a cool place I found. And there are adventures to be found all over Hyrule. A chill trip through a serene forest can lead you to something and wonder, I think there's something over there. And the answer is usually yes, there is something over there. Oh boy, was there something over there. This all comes together thanks to the hero's path, letting me push a button on the map screen and instantly seeing everywhere I have, and more importantly have not, already been, is revolutionary to someone like me who has on more than one occasion Gotten lost in a straight corridor? No, really. You can ask my Twitch chat, that's actually happened multiple times. Hero's Path is for me the most important part of this formula for, as a game developer might say it, on stage at a press conference, finding the fun. But as with life itself, it's the delicate balance of everything I've mentioned that brings the Hyrule of Tears of the Kingdom to life. It's huge and open, filled with as much space as it is adventures to be had, and there's always something just around the next corner. With Hero's Path, Nintendo have given me a way to find those adventures while still making me feel like I'm the one making all the discovery. Link may be the main character in Tears of the Kingdom, but this is as much my adventure and my story as it is his. Over the next few years, we're undoubtedly going to be slowly inundated with open world games inspired by Tears of the Kingdom. Executives up and down the games industry are already telling the dev teams to make their game more like Tears of the Kingdom because it's a critical hit and it's selling at an astonishing pace. And because what most people seem to be talking about are the crafting and physics systems, those systems are primarily what we're going to see recreated in big games in the not too distant future. A few of them will make it work. Most won't, but if I might ask a favour of any developer who's looking to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for inspiration for their open world game, please implement some variation of the hero's path. Hell, just straight up copy it. I won't tell on you to Nintendo, I promise. Oh, also the fairies are really hot. Like, yes, please, upgrade my pants, seriously. You can just take them right off my legs, I don't mind. You never mentioned, I really like your eyeshadow. It just looks so good. It really makes your eyes pop.